In this video, we will try to look at essential concepts involving graphs in three-dimensional space. We will try to understand why graphs of certain equations with missing variables forms a cylinder. Let us first discuss some core concept of graphing. So in 2D, if you are asked to plot a point, then what you need to do here, for point 1, 2, you need to move 1 unit along the x-axis and then you move 2 units along the y-axis. That's why you end up here. Now in 3D, suppose you are asked to graph these 3 points. Okay, you may look at this one, 2, 2, and negative 3. You can actually land here because from the origin, you can move 2 units along the x-axis and then you move 2 units parallel to y-axis and then you move downward because your z is equal to negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. That's why you end up here. You can apply a similar concept for 0, 2, 1, and 0, 0, 4. Suppose you have a function f and its graph. You can look at the graph as the set of points that satisfies this equation. Say for example, you choose a particular point here which is 1, 2, and then f of 1 is equal to 2 makes the equation correct. So now let us consider the graph of the function x equals 2. So it is known that the graph of this function is actually a vertical line. So it is a vertical line because if you choose any point in this line, say for example, you choose 2, 1. If you substitute this point in this equation, it will always satisfy this one. The reason is, by this first component, you already have x equals 2. So now, what will happen if you try to graph x equals 2 in the three-dimensional space? So notice that what we are looking at here is the collection of all points yz with first component x equals 2. Okay, so the graph of this one is actually this plane. This plane because you have 2yz. Any points with this form, on this form, is actually belong to the graph of x equals 2. Okay, so x equals 2, that's why you have 2 units along the x-axis, and then you are free to choose the horizontal and vertical movement of these certain points. So that's why you can choose any point. Say for example, you have this point. This is actually the point. First component is 2, then regardless what is the particular y0 or z0, it will always satisfy this equation. Okay, so from a vertical line in 3D, you are looking at a plane. Similarly, when you are looking at the y equals 3 in 2D, you will have a horizontal line. And now in 3D, what you have here is this blue plane. Because the collection of points you need to graph is the first component is x. As long as the second component is 3, then you can choose your third component z. So x here, you can choose any value, and then as long as its travel along the horizontal line is 3 units, then you can choose your z. Either it is upward or downward. So if you collect all those points, you can actually take this plane. As a consequence, if we graph z equals 5, it will actually equal to this plane. Notice that this plane is not bounded. This actually extends horizontally and throughout this direction also. But one thing is that this plane is parallel to this plane. So if you have your xy plane to be this plane, then these two are parallel. Now let us try to discuss equations that can be obtained by the distance formula in 2D and 3D. Say for example, you have 2D. Then this is actually the distance between 2 points. The formula for the distance. So you are actually taking at the distance between a particular point xy and a particular point hk. So this is the distance formula. So suppose their distance is r. If you manipulate this one, you can actually, taking the square of both sides, you can actually obtain an equation of a circle with center at hk and radius r. So the graph of this one is actually like this. So center is your hk, and then you collect all points xy that is of distance r from each k. So this will give you the circular pattern that you graph. Okay, now what will happen if you extend this concept in 3D? So actually the formula for the distance between 2 points in 3D is actually given by this. So you are looking at the distance between xyz and the point h, k, and l. So squaring both sides, you will obtain an equation of sphere. This is a sphere with center HKL and with radius r. So if you graph this one, you will actually have something like this. So I actually put a shadow now to indicate that this is actually a floating sphere. So as you can see, center is at HK. And if you take any point outside, so the distance between this one and the center is actually r. So this is hollow. All points inside this sphere is not included. You only includes the surface. Okay, for the next example, suppose you are asked to graph the equation x squared plus y squared plus z squared minus 2z equals 0. So when you look at this one, you can actually notice that for the variable z, there are actually two terms. Okay, so one thing you can do when you encounter this type of equation is you need to group those variables. So as you can see, x here is a single term now. So this is the only term which contains the x expression. Similarly for y, but for z, there are two terms. What you need to do here is you can complete the square. That is, you can add 1 here. And since this term is 0, you also add 1. So what do you mean is you can actually express this one into something like this. Okay, as you can notice, you can simplify this one. This is z minus 1 squared. So that you will have this equation. So this gives you an equation of a sphere with center 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 with radius equal to 1. So let us now try to graph this one. So the z-axis is positioned downward so that it won't interfere on the drawing of the graph of the sphere. So as you can notice, if you graph the center, first you move 0 units along the x-axis, 0 units along the y-axis, and then you move 1 unit along the z. So 0, 0, and then you move 1 unit along the z-axis. But since the radius is equal to its height, the sphere is actually looking like this. Something like this. Okay, so it is actually a sphere that sits around the xy plane. So what do you mean by that is that this sphere. For our next example, suppose you are asked to graph z equals y squared with a restriction 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. Okay, so if you remove this restriction along with this x-axis, and suppose that you are asked to graph this one in 2D plane, then the form of this function is something like this. It is a parabola that opens upward. Okay, so what will happen if we include this restriction and x-axis? Okay, so one thing we need to do is you graph this parabola as usual. Okay, so notice that these are the points provided by this restriction. X here is not yet restricted. So since your x must be between 0 to 2, that means this point, you can move this one freely along the direction of direction of x-axis as long as it is between 0 to 2. And you can do that to any points of this parabola. Okay, so to graph this one, what we usually do is we take a copy of this parabola, draw this one 2 units away from this original parabola in the direction of x-axis. Then just try to connect with lines and put some colors. That's why you have this one. And this actually takes a parabola which is something like this. You can also add some guides with arrows to indicate that this is continuous. And these are called parabolic cylinder. Okay, so this is how you graph these types of function. Now, let us consider another example. For our next example, suppose you are looking at a version of that one, but you are considering a circle. Okay, suppose you have this one. This is actually a circle in r squared, and z is restricted between 0 to 10. Okay, so since earlier you have a parabola that is stretched around the x-axis, then that is parabolic cylinder. But for this example, you have a circle which is stretched around the z-axis. So this is now a circular cylinder. Okay, but for the graph of this one, first you have to look at the 3D plane. So if you view this one, suppose this is not considered, no? You can view this one in x, y plane as a circle with radius 2. Since this is 2 squared, so that's why you can draw this one. So if you are here looking at this plane, you will see something like this. A circle with radius 2. Again, you can graph this one into something like this. That is of radius 2. Since this circle is flexible now, you can drag any of these points along the z-axis as long as it is between 0 to 10. So you mean you can extend this one into something like this. And that's the cylinder you are looking for. So that's how you graph this one. Hit subscribe for more videos like this.